Lord have mercy. Dom, don't do this evening.
Pink cookies.
Just because he is in one of the movies that's been playing on AMC, don't mean that I mean, he's in it. Another rapper's in it too, but you didn't mention nothing from him.
That's because he drop kicked Mike Myers out the window while rocking some Timberland boots, and he didn't die.
No.
And cuss him out.
You know who did die? Jamie Lee Curtis in the next one.
Show did.
Because she was the pink cookies that got crushed by the building.
Yeah.
Good evening, everybody. This is Bo Sports Talk.
Yeah, I'm gonna let him have that one because I'm not. I'm not responding to that one, buddy.
BMO, Hendo, my boy Dom. Good evening, gentlemen.
What's up?
Yep.
But shoot, man, let's go ahead and get started. Let's go ahead and get into it. All right. World Series is over, finally, finito, out there at Globe Life Field, the new field out there in Arlington, Texas for the Rangers, even though the Rangers wasn't in it. But we do have a World Series champion, and that is the LA Dodgers. Congratulations to them. Also, a friend of the show, our boy Clayton Kershaw, who won his first World Series title. So congratulations to him. Huge basketball fan, huge Mavericks fan, by the way. So glad that me and Hendo got a chance to really talk to him pregame. He was at a lot of Mavericks games.
Oh yeah, man.
Mavericks games, bro. Like, he loves the Mavericks, man.
Yeah, and it's so funny every time. Usually me and BMO are around each other because usually BMO's doing this thing and I'm doing my thing. For some odd reason, Clayton Kershaw seemingly is around both of us, and he's one of the, like I said, he's one of the best people to me, man. Clayton Kershaw is just a phenomenal dude, man. Like, you guys saw the pics that we posted of us in the moment with him. Like, we would joke around, and you forget it's Clayton Kershaw. Like, this is arguably, now that this World Series is official, he may go down as the greatest pitcher ever. He got that monkey off the back, so yeah, man. I'm happy for Clayton Kershaw, DFW zone. He got and it's so ironic. He got a ring in Texas.
Because,
Yeah, right.
Like out of all scenarios, maybe, like I said, maybe some sort of weird universe, weird theory thing, but like people say he would never get a ring because he would choke, and I don't like to use that word, but he would choke. But seemingly he comes back home and gets a ring. So yeah, one time for Kershaw, man.
Most definitely one time. And of course, yes, just like me, Hendo, and also Dom are aware. We're aware of his playoff woes. We're aware of his World Series struggles and things like that. Okay, we get that. We understand that. I'm pretty sure he knows that because he's the one that was out there doing the stuff. But also at the same time, it's like he's due a ring very soon. Very, very due. And I'm glad that he got a chance to play. I think it was Game 5. It was Game 5. He came back, had a great performance. And also at the same time, with his playoff woes that he was having, I mean, some run support would be great also as well. But also at the same time, I'm glad that he finally got his World Series championship. To me, one of the best pitchers in history. And Hendo, I don't like a lot of pitchers like that. And so for me to even say something like that, that's very, very huge. But shout out to the Dodgers ending their 32-year drought. They haven't won a World Series title since 1988. And
can you name 5 players from that team? At least can you name 4 players from that team?
I cannot.
I think I can. Let's see. You got Oral Hershiser, of course.
The great Oral Hershiser.
Fernando Valenzuela. Of course, Kirk Gibson, Mr. Meathead himself. How he do? He went like this. Like, what was that? Like, that had to have been like the worst thing.
Okay, was it a chainsaw? Was he ripping up the like the little leaf blower? Like, we don't even know what he was doing.
Well, I guess it's just like, like 80s was so cheesy because, like they had all that, weird celebrations back then when people jumped in there and clapped. Like, that was like a patented celebration for people. Weird times in the 80s.
Very weird times. But I'm going to lob this to Hendo because me and him, ever since Game 6 ended, it's been a lot of BS that's been going on. Matter of fact, during the game and after the game. But let's get to the Rays for a second because I really want to talk about this manager and what he did. When it came towards the 6th inning, where you have an incredible pitcher And just like somebody had told me, Hendo also told me this as well. When it comes down to the postseason and to the World Series, it's all about pitching at this point. I mean, it's going to get to the point where you may not get that run support you want to get, but as long as you have some good starting pitching and a good bullpen to back you up, then, it's pretty much all systems go. You had a pitcher in the game that was pretty much just giving the Dodgers the blues for 6 innings. Like, they couldn't even get a hit at all. Then all of a sudden you give a one hit Hendo.
Mm-hmm.
What does the manager decide to do after that?
Well, I mean, so analytics is sort of a big deal in baseball. Analytics is taking over, and unfortunately, Blake Snell is one of the best pitchers in baseball. They got Charlie Morton over there with the Rays. They got a nice rotation. So it's a weird scenario. You look, man. God has a mysterious way of doing things in sports to sort of negate these things. Because my God, if he continues to pitch that game and they win, then that other fiasco that we found out right after the game had to play out, and that would have been even worse. So, Kevin Cash, I was very upset. Obviously, I was in our Google Hangout, our private hangout, and I immediately say he should be fired for it because, you just, momentum is a word we don't like to use, but in that situation, Blake Snell is just wheeling and dealing. And it's one of those things where I just look at it like, what was Kevin Cash thinking? You had the perfect situation. The pitcher was doing great. He pulled a Dave Roberts. You remember when Dave Roberts put in Kershaw that one year?
Yes, sir.
He blew it. He did everything Dave Roberts had done. And, man, it's unfortunate, man, because in an AL where you got the Yankees who are going to be better, we think, hopefully. Not hopefully, but the Yankees will be better. You're looking at Chicago with their move today with Tony La Russa. You're looking at these teams out here that are getting better. Houston's still going to be chomping at they're knocking at the door still. I don't know if the Rays can get back. And they had a winnable series, it looked like, because, like I said, even though you had heroics from, Seager and, Bellinger had a big game. Of course, Mookie Betts was arguably put himself in a category where for a non-household baseball fan or just a general baseball fan who didn't know about Mookie Betts, you know who Marcus Betts is now, don't you? And he put his name in the little small 3 little piece of paper where you can say he may be the best player in baseball right now. So, yeah, man, Kevin Cash, man, like I said, I don't know because Dom, we play video games a lot. And I don't know if I've ever had a situation where both of us have played MLB The Show and our pitch has been that great where we just take them out. We usually run them into the dirt until worst case.
Right.
But look, man, there's some conspiracy theories out there that, hey, he was told to do it because the Justin Turner news came out. And, because, look, what would you have rather wanted? I wanted the anarchy after the fact, right? I wanted it to go down to basically say, hey, man, if the Rays would have won Game 6 and then that news obviously would have came out about – I wonder what the news came out about Turner because that would have been a weird scenario because what do? You cancel Game 7? Until further notice, because I'm pretty sure there's going to be players on the Dodgers, knock on wood, it's not true, but I'm sure they're going to be, either asymptomatic or have COVID. So for me, it was negligent of baseball. Baseball has been very bad about this COVID. Dominique talked about this, how baseball has been the worst when it comes to COVID. I mean, there's no way to kind of negate it because there's too many players, as you said, BMO. Before the season started, just too many players to kind of mandate. But my God, Justin Turner was told before the game he had a COVID, and then you run another test, and you find out it wasn't a weird test. He actually has COVID. And for him to go out in the 7th inning, you might as well just should have let him play the rest of the game. What is going to change? He sat on the bench. He did everything. It wasn't like he was wearing one of those things to cover up his mouth the whole game, and it doesn't matter. His hands are still touching the ball. It's sweat. So, it was very negligent of baseball, and I'm not mad at Justin Turner because in that moment, I don't know how I would react. It'd be like if, knock on wood, none of us get COVID, but let's just say if our show won an Emmy and we're invited to the award show, right, and I end up getting COVID, I would be devastated if I couldn't be there to celebrate the award with you guys. So, Kevin Cash, Rays manager, man, you got to hope that they can come back for this. And if I'm Blake Snell, I'll be pissed. Blake Snell's going to be a name that we're going to hear in a few more years.
Yeah.
Obviously, the Rays don't keep their pitchers anyway, as we know. They don't keep their big-time players because somebody got to get paid. So Blake Snell's probably going to look back at this and be like, nah, we good, brother. But I'm going to pass it back to Dom because, like I said, I'll get back more into the game stuff and the parameters going forward for the Dodgers. But, I mean, Dom, like I said, Kevin Cash, what was that about?
I mean, it was shenanigans. I ain't gonna lie, I laughed. And I mean, you was right, Hendo. The man should have been fired instantly for that. I mean, I don't know what else to say. All I'll say is congratulations to the Dodgers. I just wonder if Chuck Knobloch got him a ring somewhere, you know. Just give him a complimentary ring and call it a day. But yeah, man. Shout out to the Dodgers. The season is over. Just wear your mask, fam. Just stay in the dugout, bro. That's I get it. You want to celebrate with your people, fam, but you put the families that was there also celebrating at risk just because, you know, you want to have your moment. But other than that, though, fantastic World Series and the better team won.
Yeah. That is true. That is true. The better team won. Also, towards the fact of Hendo, to me, that's a fireable offense. And I'm going to say this right now: the Rays will not be going back to the World Series. This was their chance right here. And basically, if he would have stayed in, like if he would have just pitched the perfect, like the whole game, complete game, Rays probably would have won that game. But analytics say you know, say otherwise, you got to make another decision. You pulled him out the game. But I do want to get back to Justin Fields. I got this tweet from Jeff Passan yesterday saying that pretty much before they got to the field, they all get tested already for COVID before the games. Yeah. And so yesterday, before the game, his test was coming back inconclusive. So that right there should have just told you from the jump, hey, there's still a 50-50 chance that he may be tested positive for COVID. Why not don't let him play at all? Or not even let him go to the dugout and be with your team? Because you got a test that's inconclusive. But, of course, you know, you got to manage like, okay, F it. It's the World Series. We may need them. You know, whatever happens, happens. So, to me right there, just by knowing that the test came back inconclusive and they let him go out and play anyway, I thought to me that was already total bullshit from the jump. Then going on to read for the rest of in the second inning of the game, the lab doing COVID tests informed Major League Baseball again that Justin Turner's test from yesterday was still inconclusive. So, going on through the game, they didn't find out until the seventh inning that he tested positive for COVID. Told him to leave, say go back to the locker room, cannot celebrate with your team. You're not supposed to be on the field or the dugout anyway. But doesn't matter. Dodgers win the World Series, and look who's come back out towards the field to celebrate with his squad. Good old Justin Fields with a damn mask on. Say, dude, to me, he should have been inside the ballpark, in that dugout, or on that field celebrating with his team.
He goes back to the hotel.
And he goes back to the hotel off top. And Dom, just like you said, man, you put all these players at risk, which they can contract that, take that back to their families with that, all because of Justin Fields and all because your manager and your organization who don't give a damn about this COVID testing, let him come out to the arena, to the ballpark in the dugout in the first place, knowing the test was inconclusive and you have no decision at all. You could have done without him, but apparently you needed him so bad that he still had to be out there, COVID or not. So I just wanted to end at that. I really thought that the organization handled that very, very poorly.
Yeah, man, and just like you said, like you and Dominique are saying, the family part, because if you look at the picture, look who he's sitting next to, Dave Roberts. I don't know if you guys know about the story, but Dave Roberts had Hodgkin's lymphoma.
Yes, sir.
So he's obviously he got beyond that, and I'm happy for Dave Roberts on that behalf. But a guy like him who's been through that's not good. And then a photo of you kissing your wife, so that means she obviously had now. Lord knows if I was a Rays player, I'd be livid right now for more than one reason. But another note for the Dodgers is this: shout out to Max Muncy. Max Muncy is also a DFW guy as well. I believe Mansfield. I want to say, if I'm not mistaken, Max Muncy is also a native here. So Max Muncy gets him a ring as well. He was a former Oakland A. Just sat there, and then it's a big deal. Yeah, Max Muncy from Midland, Texas, so not too far from the DFW area. He gets a ring as well. Man, like I said, for the Dodgers just going forward, it's going to be interesting how they put it all together. But I mean, Corey Seager was healthy, and Corey Seager looked amazing. Obviously, Bellinger's Bellinger. At the end of the day, Mookie Betts. You're talking about probably the best defensive outfield in baseball.
Yes.
You put them two together, and I mean, Mookie Betts he proved to everybody the money that he was paid. He's probably worth at it more. Like I told the fellas last night, Mike Trout to me is the best baseball player I've maybe not naming Barry Bonds and Ken Griffey Jr. that I've ever seen in my life from a positional non-pitcher. But Mookie Betts is right now to me the second best, or at least top 3 baseball player in baseball. Not naming pitchers, I would have to say obviously Mike Trout still to me is the best baseball player in the world. Then you could throw Tatis in there, Arenado, you got all these guys, but man, like Mookie Betts, man, just heart and soul. It seemed like that maybe they were missing that pep.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, for the Rays, man, like I said, you got some young guys over there, some young bats. I know my Cardinals fans are hating the fact that old boy was out there killing it, of course, but man, it's no guarantee because a lot of these teams in the AL are going to get better. And when you look at that division they're in, I mean, obviously, you don't have to worry about like the Red Sox because if you're a Red Sox fan today, how do you feel about that? About Mookie Betts? Like that has to be like the worst case scenario. Like all that happening in Bebo's boy, Mr. Joe Kelly gets a ring. So that's he's somewhere probably talking
revenge.
He's probably talking mad noise to everybody, of course. So he gets a ring. I'm sorry if I don't pronounce it right now. I think it's Urias, the pitcher. He was amazing. He was just throwing heat.
Oh, man.
He was just throwing heat, man. Like, I don't know what you could do about that. Shout out to Will Smith, not the actor Will Smith. I had to look twice. It was 2 Will Smiths. And it's like, what the heck? Like, why do they keep talking about Will Smith? But, Will Smith did his thing. But, I'm happy for the Dodgers. 30 years, man. And like you said, it was always a never-ending story with them. Like, you knew they were going to get there, but after all the contracts, the Adrian Gonzalez's, the Carl Crawfords, all these bad contracts. I'm not going to say bad contracts, but all those big contracts, and they never got close because of, like, weird pitching and weird scenario. And Clayton Kershaw, man, was amazing, like I said, in his pitching outing, and I'm just glad that he got a ring. I'm also glad that Dave Robertson decided to put him in Game 6. That would have been messed up, too, if he'd have got in on Game 6 and they would have blew it. So, yeah, man, one time for the Dodgers. I hate it for the Rays. For them and their 20 fans. And I swear to God, I don't know.
When no Rays fans there, bro.
I don't know any Rays fans, bro. Like, I know maybe 2. And they're default Tampa Bay people. So, I don't know if I know any Rays fans, bro. Like, that may be the one franchise in baseball I cannot identify a fan. So, we'll see going forward how they put their money together. But, yeah, man, congratulations for the Dodgers show. Wish my team would get their act right. It sucks that, that may be the only World Series that gets celebrated in that stadium ever.
Damn.
So the way it's going, shoot, JD better get up. Look, man, JD Daniels is on the hot seat. I love John Daniels the person, but he's on the hot seat. I'm probably going to get in trouble for saying that, but he has to be on the hot seat, right? And maybe it's not his fault because they don't want to spend money. And look, Dom is like in the reverse situation because they spend too much money and then they don't know how to spend the money. So it's like both our teams can't get right. One team don't want to spend money and then the other team spend the wrong money.
Right.
Yeah. So it's just stupid. So yeah.
All right, indeed. All right, let's move on to the NFL where both of our favorite teams will be facing each other on prime time TV. Sunday Night Football. We got the Cowboys for the Eagles. I sure wish they flexed this game, bro, because I really don't want to watch this Sunday night. Matter of fact, flex this game to like early afternoon just to get this game out the way. Both the teams are bad. We finally have, hey, Hendo, guess what? The Joneses are making some moves. Well, I don't want to say that they make some moves. They're just kicking people out.
Well, they had to.
I mean, yeah, they had to. I mean, plus towards the fact of like you cut one of your defensive linemen because you said he's 30 pounds overweight. You knew he was 30 pounds overweight before the season started. You know what I'm saying? So that's not a good excuse to do that. And so you keep saying that we're going to make some moves and get help, but you're releasing the help that you needed. You release Everson Griffin for a 6th round, I think it was like a conditional pick to the Lions. Yeah. That's not helping you because you're not getting that pick till next year's draft, hopefully. And you didn't really get anything back from that. So I guess that goes ahead, just show me that, okay, well, I guess they're tanking, they're giving up on the season. But you can't give up on the season like that because this trash-ass division is on some fluke stuff as it already is. Like the Cowboys got Ben DiNucci right now, who may be the starter for this game because Andy Dalton got knocked the hell out in Washington. And he's sidelined still through a concussion. He ain't practiced all this week. And also killed the Mark Morrison music hendo for Cooper Rush, who has made his return back to the Cowboys roster. So I won't be surprised if DiNucci has some bad throws. Here comes Cooper Rush right after that. So people, let's calm down with the hey, let's go get Kaepernick stuff. That was never going to happen. And also towards the fact of, look, bro, even if Colin would have looked at his phone and saw the Joneses call, he would have sent that shit to voicemail. That's not going to happen. He is not going to come here just to play behind a depleted offensive line. You know what I'm saying? Especially not owner Jerry Jones, because I'm pretty sure he was one of the owners that quote unquote probably blackballed him not to even play in the NFL or even pick him up. So that wasn't going to happen. His team is bad, bro. Coaching is bad. Like everything is just horrible. Mike McCarthy, with all his analytics teams and all of this, thinking this money ball shit was going to work. Nah, fam, it's not working. Now you don't even know what direction you want to take because your best offensive player, got hurt for the season. Your second best offensive player, which he's supposed to be your first, can't catch the ball out the backfield, or can't even hold on to the ball already as it is. You have a backup quarterback who he had no idea what he was getting into when he signed that deal in the offseason. Defense is still depleted, it's still bad. One of the players that we've been calling trash all since the season started leads the NFL in tackles, which I thought that was insane. So now you got a situation where you're making these moves and releasing these players goes to show me that you want to go ahead and try to get a quote-unquote top 5 pick in this year's NFL draft. Now you have a Stephen Jones that's more in control, where he's more draft heavy than anything. Even if we do get a top 5 pick, I see him doing some dumb shit anyway to it. So that's not helping me at all. You're still in a division where you have the rival Philadelphia Eagles. Now it's their division to lose. It is. Even with the injuries that they have, the stuff that they going through, it's still going to be on some fluke shit if one of these teams win this. Dom, 5 wins. I'm still riding on that. I still believe you, even with this game that's going on. I already said this last week. I want this game to end to a tie. I want both of these teams to tie because I don't want no teams in the NFC East to win the division. I don't. If they win this division, it's going to be 5-11. I want that shit to be void, but I want this game to end to a tie. I'm not picking no teams to win this game because that's how much I really hate both of these teams right now. Yes, I hate my own team right now. I do. I have nothing good to say about them. I don't even have nothing good to say about the outcome that y'all expect to happen. No, Trevor Lawrence is not going to come here. Trevor Lawrence is going to be scooped up before you even blink your eyes. So that's not going to happen. I love Clemson. That's my favorite college football team. Sunshine's not coming here. And do you want Sunshine to come here when you got Dak Prescott coming back on another franchise tag? Trevor's going to be sitting his ass down. And plus he got to play, sit behind Ben DiNucci. And things like that. So no, Trevor's not going to waste his time coming here. He can pull an Eli, but I don't want to see Trevor coming here. And back to picking the game, who's going to win this game? I'm not picking nobody to win this game. I want this game to end into a tie. It's going to go to overtime. The game is going to be tied 20-20. Nobody's going to win this game.
I'm going to let Dom end it off because it ain't going to be no tie. It's going to be a massacre. The Eagles will win 35-3. Like I told y'all, after I've been utterly embarrassed as a fan on social media for the last 2 weeks in a row, been called out by people in other sports about the Dallas Cowboys, and it's pissing me off. So, yeah, man, this team is a total disaster. Mike McCarthy is an idiot. Mike Nolan Mike Nolan is an idiot. You know.
Come on, keep going. Let's go. Let's go.
Jim Fossil, he's supposed to be the special teams coach. He's an idiot. You know, I want to blame COVID for them not having a training camp, but at the end of the day, players need to play. And I don't know who's the best player on this team right now. Like, I think maybe obviously Zach Martin may make that case easily for him.
And he's just not coming back to play Sunday. He ain't even been on the field.
Which, I mean, you have no choice but to have him because Fletcher Cox going to have 20 sacks if that happens, if that don't happen. So they got to, like, they pretty much counter each other. But, you know, this defense is terrible. You know, I see DeMarcus Lawrence gets another sack last week, I believe, but he's still average at best. Jalen Smith is average. You know, I don't even want to – look, I love Jalen Smith the person, but, yeah.
You got to make that tackle, fam. I ain't mean to cut you, but you got to make that tackle.
Yeah, you got to make that tackle. And my thing is, like, clear eye view. I don't know if you can see clearly enough what they running on the other team. If you talking about clear eye view, you know, Cowboys fans get mad at me, but like I said, it is what it is. But secondary is ass. Do you hear me? They're ass. So I'm glad they got rid of Worley because he was just terrible. Jeff Heath is somehow missed because, you know, Xavier Woods, he likes to just hit people and not do nothing. And that other dude they got back there is trash.
Thompson, oh my goodness.
I hope they start Reggie Robinson. I want to see what he could do. I heard he's pretty good, but the secondary has been trash, man. And, you know, it is what it is, but there's no pass rush. Leighton Van Ness might as well should have stayed at home. They talking about Sean Lee may be back. Who cares? The offense is putrid. Well, the offense, I can't hurt. You know what? The offense kind of got screwed because they lost both of their quarterbacks. You know, Zeke's still formidable. I think Zeke's still high. I don't know. Maybe that's what it is. I don't know. Don't quote me on that either. But, you know, I don't know what this team can do. Like I said, it's so much going on. Michael Gallup didn't even have a catch last week.
Or CD.
Or CD, so that lets me know we definitely in trouble. Amari Cooper looks like he don't even want to play half of the time. Yeah, man. Tony Pollard was the only player I saw did something offensively, and that tells me a lot. That's all I would need to know. So, yeah, I got the Eagles winning. Man, just tank. And before I pass off the Dom, you know, you mentioned Trevor Lawrence. Trevor Lawrence has opportunity to go to Dallas Cowboys. He's taking every bit of that. Now, if you talk about the Jets, that's another story. He ain't touched the Jets. But if it's a Dallas Cowboy, look, and I hate to say this, man, I love Dak Prescott. I really, in the last couple of years, have become a super Dak Prescott supporter. Unfortunately, man, look, if you got no one pick in the draft, I don't know how you pass on Trevor Lawrence. I just don't see it. You know, like Don May can contest that too as an Eagles fan. Like, look, if the Eagles end up with the number one pick in the draft just somehow, there is no way they skip Trevor Lawrence. Like, you can't. Like, you would literally say, you know what? We love you, Carson, but
I'd rather have Justin Fields actually.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. So, like, if you would literally have to take one of those guys because then you'll be like because you could essentially trade Carson to somewhere like Jacksonville and get some picks or get some players that can play. So. Yeah, I mean, I just don't see how a team would pass on Trevor Lawrence, but yeah, I mean, for the Cowboys, look, man, Trevor Lawrence ain't saving them. I mean, they still got the dumbest coach in the world. So, you know, I thought, look, you find Jason Garrett to get worse is the craziest thing I ever thought in my life.
That's basically happened. That's basically what it was.
I basically told her, I'm gonna pass it down, but I basically told everybody the day that they hired Mike McCarthy, I literally posted on Facebook. I don't know if it really makes sense to hire Mike McCarthy because he's hated by his old quarterback, and they fired him. So my thing is this: sometimes it's just bad situation, right? But this is how I look at it when it comes to coaches. If you got fired for like some weird stuff, why would you want to hire that same coach knowing this shit? I think Mike McCarthy did this little post, this little interview on Fox Sunday Football, say he learned this lesson and all that. That man lied. He fleeced y'all for a job. Hey, you know how we go into some interviews with these jobs and be like, oh, man, I'm the hardest worker in the world. Man, I'm a team player. Dog, I'm only there to get a check, man.
And you know what type of fleece that he was doing? Yeah. He spent the night at Jerry's crib. I don't know how he even got to that point to put that together, but he's talking about some ultimate fleece.
Look, man, All of our teams right now looking at Eric Bieniemy is like, my God, we need a disaster to happen because Eric Bieniemy is just he needs a job. But Dom, go ahead, man.
Yeah, I'm actually gonna take the Eagles to win this week. For the first time in a long time, y'all secondary is worse than ours. Darius Slay has been balling. That was probably the best free agent move they have made the last 5 years, probably.
Yeah.
Facts.
So, I mean, you know, Fletcher Cox, I mean, Brandon Graham, the defensive line is probably gonna have fun. You know what I'm saying, this weekend. So yeah, once again though, my concern that offense, you know what I'm saying, it just hurts me every time I look at Seattle and I see Metcalf and I'm like, wow, we sure could have drafted him too.
Yeah.
He could be right there as a target for Carson Wentz, you know. Shout out to Deshaun Jackson for getting hurt the same game he returned in. Yeah. I mean, once again, Carson Wentz is out there throwing it to us. So it's gonna be for like the third straight year, another one of them seasons. And once again, I'm gonna say it, Jim Schwartz still needs to go. Doug Peterson, you still need to go. Y'all talk about y'all coaches. They let the wrong coaches leave. You get rid of Doug Peterson and keep Frank Reich. I feel like things will go a whole lot better. Also, I've been saying the same thing for like the last 5 years. They need to get rid of everybody in that medical staff and start over.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Very inept. Like, I don't understand it. Like, they have one of the worst medical staffs I've ever seen.
And that's facts. That's facts. Like the same players get hurt every single season. Every single season, the same players getting hurt.
And the fact that Doug Peterson really I feel like they don't practice hard enough. As crazy as that sounds, like I just feel like the practices are basically like walkthroughs because it should be no reason like the same people be dinged up every single year. And it's like the same nagging injuries like every time. But as far as this game goes, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and pick the Eagles to win unless Ezekiel Elliott have one of them crazy games where y'all just control the clock, the time of possession. That's really the only way I could see the Cowboys winning this game.
You know what? I think this is one of those games where both coaches, if they get blown out, somebody getting fired. Like
I hope so.
Like if the Eagles like lost 35-3, they better fire Doug Peterson. Doug Peterson shouldn't even be able to. He don't even like. We in Philadelphia, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like he just go straight home. He don't even go to the locker room. And if the Cowboys lose 35-0, then Mike McCarthy shouldn't even get on team bus. He needs to take a plane back to West Coast, wherever his house is.
They're gonna put a Lane Kiffin. They just gonna leave him there.
Bro, that's one of the most.
Man, no. I really don't want nobody to win this game. Like I really don't. Just for anarchy for the rest of the season for the Dallas Cowboys. I want all ties, which I know that's not going to happen. But the way I feel about the team right now, how everything is going, and how the approach of this new head coach is taking with this team, I really don't see him succeeding after this. I really don't, because me and Hendo both know already from the fact it's in the front office. It's always been in the front office. You have a GM, and you have an owner who's all about marketing and branding, which that's had led on to the players. For example, Jalen Smith shades and the Hot Boys gear and the Zeke Who shirts. Like I can go on and on about this. You know what I'm saying? I can go on and on about this. So you let your son take over. He don't want to spend no money. He's all about the drafts, which that's fine. You know what I'm saying? But I still give McClay more credit than I give Stephen Jones in that war room. But these been draft misses. It's cool the first 2 years, but once you get that film on them, it's a whole different story. And these draft prospects and these young guys can't adjust. And that's what's been going on. Nothing is working. And it's continued to not work. Season is horrible. They was picked to win this division. They're not going to win this division. I don't want them to win this division at all. Nobody. So me and Hendo are going to continue to talk about our favorite team and how bad they are and how trash they are. I don't give a damn if you like it or not. I don't, because they're bad. There's no good hindsight from this. There's no positivity from this team at all in this city. So do I have anything good to say about the Dallas Cowboys team? No. Will they make a deal before the trade deadline? No, they don't have no reason to. Because I don't even have faith in them to even do that. And what's the point of doing that when they're only going to win 5 games for the rest of the season? So I'm done with them.
Well, yeah. Like I said, it is what it is. I'm ready for basketball season.
I mean, shoot, might as well. They try to already start up. But let's get the fight news. One of my favorite segments of the show. Dom, he will break down everything that's going on in fight news, and he will begin with Hell in the Cell. Take it away, sir.
So Sunday, good old WWE had their Hell in the Cell pay-per-view. And to be honest with you, besides Royal Rumble, and no, I'm not saying that because I was there physically, this was probably their best pay-per-view of 2020 so far. I will go ahead and say that. It was a few misses. It's WWE, so it ain't always going to be good. But I will start off by saying this, though. The red Hell in the Cell sucks ass. Go back to just the regular color, like, cause it's painted all red now. It looks weird, man. Like it's dumb. Like it's been like that the last couple of years. Get rid of that.
Was that distracting to you?
Yes. Like, and then you got to think about like the one good thing, and I wonder how like the people, like the virtual fans in the Thunderdome, like I wonder how it is when they looking at it, because like looking at it physically in person, it looks horrible. Right. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of hard to like see inside of it. But so I can only imagine, how the stream is on the virtual. But they did jump it off with Roman Reigns versus Jey Uso for the good old Universal Championship. And hey man, this match is fantastic. So we ended up having 3 Hell in the Cell matches, and I will just go off and say that all 3 of them felt different in their own way. So props to WWE for doing that, because that is kind of hard to do by like oversaturating your pay-per-view with 3 of the same match types. But Roman Reigns versus Jey Uso was a I Quit match inside the Hell in the Cell. So, and look, heel Roman Reigns has probably been one of the best things about WWE like for the last couple of months.
I agree.
And it's something we've been clamoring for like maybe 3-4 years now, maybe longer than that, because looking at what he is now, this is why we've been waiting for it. But look, long story short, both of them basically just beat the living shit out of each other. Like at one point, it basically became a 3 stipulation match, because I remember like the old territory days when they used to have them leather strap matches.
Yes.
So Jey Uso basically went under the ring and found one. I don't know who put it down there and like started beating Roman with it. But the funny part about the whole match was the fact that every time Jey Uso did something, Roman Reigns would just hit him with a spear and like just stop his whole momentum. But it's an I Quit match though, so it ain't like so pinning him does nothing. So at one point, Jay actually choked out Roman Reigns to the point to where I thought he was probably legit passed out dead. Roman was like slobbering and spitting, you know what I'm saying? So he ended up passing out. Then Roman got pissed and he ended up choking Jey Uso out. You know what I'm saying? So all right, so getting towards the end of the match, at this point, Jey Uso is just basically just getting destroyed. Roman speared him right again, and then Jey still wouldn't quit. It's funny because he was like, all you can hear him say is like, "I can't breathe, my ribs hurt," because it ain't no fans, so you can hear them talking. So y'all know the little apron.
I think it's connection, man. Messed
so the
up.
little apron drop kick, doing, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, okay.
He ended up like basically doing that between Jey Uso. He basically placed Jey Uso head between the steel steps and the ring post and hit him with the apron drop kick like that. Jey Uso still didn't quit though. Now y'all know how we always joke around and say you shouldn't fight somebody when they say certain things.
Yes.
So Roman looked and he asked the ref like he still ain't gonna quit. Roman literally looked up into the sky and mumbled, "If he's not gonna quit, I'm gonna have to take this to the next level." If any grown man say if you don't quit, I'm gonna
See,
take you to the next level, bro.
That's when you don't fight him. That's when you gotta leave, bro.
We're gonna have a segment next week where we gotta think of quotes because that may be one of the best ones.
That's one of the best ones. My bad, dog. Go ahead.
Outside of saying you pray for somebody before you beat them up, that may be if you say you go, bro. We fighting. You say you want to go to the next level, bro.
He closed his eyes, asked for forgiveness, is because he's about to take it to the next level, fam. And lo and behold, he did. It got so bad to where the ref wanted to stop the match. He threw the original ref out the ring. Other referees tried to come in, and he basically just punked all them and said, "Look, if you touch me, none of y'all will have a job," because basically Roman Reigns is basically running things right now. So, if you want to know what he meant by taking it to the next level, so Jey Uso once again was just landing in the middle of the ring. Still can't breathe. Probably his ribs is hurting because he got speared like 5 times. So y'all know how usually they'll have like the chair and be sitting on, like had a chair over their neck and be sitting over them.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the new wellness field Roman Reigns decided to use the steel steps and have it over Jey Uso's neck, and was talking to him and basically telling him, "I gave you a chance. You should have just walked away. I love you, but this is over."
No.
One. That's another one. That's another one.
Fam. Roman held the steel steps above his head and was about to literally crush Jey Uso's head until Jimmy came out there and was like, "Chill, fam." You know what I'm saying? Like, you tripping, Like, Jimmy had to come out there and save his brother. And look, I will say this, though. You can say what you want. I've said a lot of things about Roman Reigns, but this was fantastic storytelling because at one point, like, Jimmy was talking to him like, you tripping, you changing, I don't know what you're doing, but we still love you. This us. And, like, Roman was like they was both in the middle of the ring, like, crying. Like, also, Roman was like, "Man, I don't even know what done happened to me. Like, I'm tripping." Because, Roman done turned heel and basically, like, just wrecking shop over everybody. So, as all of this is going on, you know what Roman did, fam? Like, him and Jimmy, they embraced, they dapped up and hugged. And then Roman put him in the guillotine and put him to sleep until Jey Uso said he quit so he could save his brother. And so that's how Roman Reigns ended up winning. So Roman Reigns ended up retaining his Universal Championship in the I Quit match. Look, man, that match basically gave you everything you wanted. That was basically wrestling right there. It was fantastic storytelling. The action was good. The match drug on a little bit too long, but the story was told. Now, not only is Roman basically the head of the table, to solidify that, for all you OG wrestling fans out there, the Wild Samoans, Aka and Sika came out there and basically, put the layover Roman and, solidified that, yeah, man, Roman is the head of the table. He's the tribal chief, and he is that dude. So here Roman Reigns is fantastic. So yeah, man, shout out to him and Jay. Shout out to everybody that's been involved in this storyline, like in general, though, because like I said, these last couple of months have been fantastic. And it's good to see, like, the Usos getting a singles run, you know what I'm saying, as well, because Jimmy's been hurt. So it's good to see Jay not just being wasted away because his brother's not been able to wrestle. So I'm interested to see where this goes, and I'm looking forward to it. So far, so good. And then it shot himself in the foot because Otis went against the Miz for the Money in the Bank briefcase, and now the Miz is the new Money in the Bank holder briefcase. So it's kind of funny they did that because, like, literally at Survivor Series, which is the next pay-per-view, it'll literally be the 10-year anniversary of when Miz cashed it in the first time and ended up becoming the World Heavyweight Champion. Ironically, on Randy Orton, who is, spoiler alert, the new WWE champion, because he ended up beating Drew McIntyre. So I don't know. Like, the Miz has been fantastic, I ain't gonna lie, but I don't really want to see another Miz World Heavyweight title run. Like, I'm good with that. Like, as the Intercontinental Champion, he is great, but I don't need to see him, as the WWE. I know you got the show on USA, so that could probably have a lot to do with it, but I don't want to see that, fam. Now, what I did want to see, and what I feel like everybody should see, is Sasha Banks versus Bayley for the SmackDown Women's Championship in a Hell in a Cell. Also, shout out to Sasha Banks because there has been only 3 women's Hell in a Cell matches, and she has participated in all 3 of them. Ironically, against her other 4 horsewomen mates, Charlotte and Becky Lynch, respectively. Now Bayley. Look, man, all I'll say is this match was fantastic. At one point, Sasha Banks like ran up a table and like hit Bayley with the double knees against the cell. They beat the ever-loving shit out of each other with kendo sticks and weapons. They did a fantastic job of like doing a bunch of callbacks to like some of their past interactions. So like the end of the match, Sasha Banks ended up getting Bayley, you know what I'm saying? She wrapped a chair around her neck and, hit her with the bank statement. And she was stepping on her foot, a la what Bayley did to Sasha Banks at their NXT TakeOver Brooklyn match back, at NXT. So it was a good homage, you know what I'm saying, to that match. And, Sasha Banks ended up getting a win, and she is now your SmackDown Women's Champion. Not only that, but she is now a Grand Slam champion. She has now officially held every women's championship in WWE, NXT, Raw Women's Championship, the women's title, and the SmackDown Women's Championship. So shout out to Sasha Banks. But man, one time for Bayley, she had one of the best women's championship runs I've ever seen. She was a SmackDown Women's Champion for 382 days. It started off a little rocky because she went from the babyface goody Bayley into, the heel Bayley that she is now. Like I said, it was a rocky transition, but like her now, like her heel run has just been fantastic. So one time for Bayley, man, because I feel like Bayley doesn't really get the respect she should as far as the 4 horsewomen go. Last year it was, Becky Lynch. Sasha Banks has always been like one of the faces, and then Charlotte Flair, but Bayley, aka Pamela with them Yamalas, has always been like a fantastic worker. So yeah, man, shout out to them, man. Like, if you just want to see a great women's wrestling match, yeah, go watch that. Now, the third Hell in a Cell match that we had was for the WWE Championship between Drew McIntyre and Randy Orton. And once again, man, it's just seeing that damn red cell 3 times. It hurts. You know what I'm saying? Like, especially now with all these ultra 4K high definition TVs, man, it hurts, man. It's a pain to look at. But as far as the match went, it was fine. I guess you could say it was the wackest of the 3, but that's not a slight because like this match was fantastic too. But like I said though, when you got 3 Hell in a Cell matches, you know what I'm saying? Once you see a bunch of table spots and people getting hit with kendo sticks, you done seen it all. But Randy Orton is your new WWE champion. After Drew McIntyre went for a Claymore kick, Randy Orton hit one of them good old he just fell to the mat and then got up and RKO Drew McIntyre. So look, man, Randy is now your 14-time WWE champion. I'm kind of conflicted about it because Randy Orton has probably been the best he's been like in a long time. Like he done like brought back the Legend Killer gimmick, you know what I'm saying? He done brought back the punt kick, which has been banned for years. So I have no issue with him getting another title run. I just feel like people kind of didn't really appreciate Drew McIntyre's recent run because of the whole COVID situation. But to be honest with you, Drew McIntyre has been a fantastic WWE champion ever since he beat Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, it kind of sucks because I was there at WrestleMania. I mean, I was there at Royal Rumble when he eliminated Brock Lesnar. And when I say, like, you know how they always be like, you could feel the roof about to blow off the building. Like when Edge returned and when Drew McIntyre eliminated Brock Lesnar, even when he won, probably the loudest ovations I've ever been a part of out of all the wrestling events I've attended in my whole 30 years of living. So imagine the pop he would have got, you know what I'm saying, like beating Brock Lesnar in 5 minutes at WrestleMania. in front of
Man.
like 80,000 people. So unfortunately, it is what it is. COVID happened, so he didn't get that. But if you just look at his run as a whole, besides Kofi Kingston when he won 2 years ago, which is crazy that it's already been 2 years since Kofi Mania didn't happen, it hasn't really been, in my opinion, like a real legit strong baby face that was booked correctly. And I feel like Drew McIntyre was like a strong WWE champ, but he'll get it back though. Like I feel like once fans start being able to get back, he'll end up getting it back and then win in front of fans like he deserved to. But overall though, man, shout out to Randy Orton. It looks like we're gonna get him and the Fiend going up against each other, and yeah, I can't wait for that. So shout out to Bray Wyatt for that too. But yeah, shout out to Hell in a Cell. It was a well done pay-per-view. Shout out to WWE for that. Now, another shout out goes to the other side of combat sports because UFC 254 took place on Saturday before Hell in a Cell, and it was headlined by probably two fantastic main events. Obviously, I'll get to, Khabib versus Justin Gaethje, but I will give a lot of props to Robert Whittaker. You know what I'm saying? He took on Jared Cannonier in a middleweight bout. Israel Adesanya beat Robert Whittaker for, the middleweight title. That's what kind of made Robert Whittaker take some time off. And if I said it once, I'll say it again. Anybody who fights Yoel Romero is guaranteed to get some fights taken out of their career, fam. Hey, Hendo, you know how we be playing UFC, and then after every fight, it'll be like, longevity, and then depending on how much damage you take, it'll go up.
Yeah.
Anybody that fights Yoel Romero, you losing it. So I'm glad Robert Whittaker took, that time out to get himself back right. But I mean, look, as far as this fight went, Robert Whittaker was just a better fighter all around. You know what I'm saying? He was more aggressive. I mean, Jared had moments, with some good leg kicks. But like I said, that third round basically won Robert Whittaker the unanimous decision fight. So all in all, I'm pretty sure it's going to be a rematch for the middleweight championship between him and Israel. And, yeah, man, I ain't going to lie, Robert, you don't want that smoke again, fam. Like, he ain't the same fighter he was when you fought him the first time. But at the same time, though, Robert Whittaker is a smart dude. So I'm pretty sure he took, everything he did wrong in the first fight to heart. And, he'll approach this fight differently. Now, the main event of the evening for the lightweight championship between Khabib Nurmagomedov and your boy Justin Gaethje for the lightweight unification title match. Khabib, obviously, the legit light heavyweight championship. Justin Gaethje was the interim champion because actually we were supposed to have Khabib versus Tony Ferguson back in UFC 249, but due to COVID travel restriction, Khabib couldn't travel, so Justin Gaethje ended up stepping in, beating Tony Ferguson's ass in 5 rounds, and then ended up becoming the interim champ. So that's how we ended up getting to where we ended up getting to on Saturday. I mean, look, man. And I said it before, like this was probably gonna be Khabib's toughest fight. And he basically wrecked this dude. Like Justin Gaethje was coming off a 4-fight win streak, all knockouts, and the people he beat, no scrubs, nothing like that. So it was legit wins. And like I said, I mean, Justin Gaethje is known for his leg kicks. He is known to work your lead leg, so it'll be hard for you to plant. And he tried that with Khabib. Khabib is Khabib. So he was just eating all of that, all the jabs, all the front kicks, all the punches. I mean, literally, the first round literally almost ended with him with an armbar. Like, if it was like a good 20 more seconds, Khabib would have probably won in the first round with an armbar. But none of that mattered, Hendo, because we get to the second round, and it was right back to that famous Khabib pressure. Look, Justin Gaethje was throwing some punches. He ran through all those. Khabib ended up with the takedown. He ended up, with a beautiful triangle choke. Justin Gaethje ain't dumb. Tapped out. Hey, also, that ref got to be fired, fam, because, look, Justin Gaethje really tapped out super quick. But the ref, for some reason, didn't call it. I don't know what happened, but Khabib retired after the match. And which was kind of surprised. 'Cause I know at first he was saying he wanted to fight GSP, you know what I'm saying, for his last fight, but his pops did die like a few months ago, and he said that he would never fight, you know what I'm saying, without his pops in his corner. This was like the only time he's ever fought, you know what I'm saying, a UFC fight without his dad in his corner. So he retired 29-0, 30-0, including the bear that he always beats up. Easily one of the best ground games in MMA. Like, no question. People, you can debate your mama. He's easily one of the greatest lightweights in MMA. UFC, Bellator, Pride, whatever. You know what I'm saying? He's the pressure that he applies, like he is literally famous. He has his own pressure, fam. Like that could be pressure when he's running through your punches just to grab you. Like that's bar none. Can't a lot of people do that and do it successfully to the point that he never think about that. The way he fight, he never sustained just literally like just a real critical injury. You know what I'm saying? He broke his foot in the first round and he was still out there just wrecking shop. Like that should just let you know how crazy this man is, dog. But like I said, man, salute one time that could be one of the greatest. And yeah, as far as the lightweight division go, no dipshits. Conor McGregor should not be the first person the belt goes to. I'm just letting y'all know that right now. I guess whoever wins this Conor McGregor versus Dustin Poirier fight, knowing Dana White is gonna end up making him the champion, but y'all act like Conor McGregor ain't been taking L's, fam. And look, Donald Cerrone is one of my favorite fighters, but he be the old Donald Cerrone. Like that's not, you know what I'm saying? That's not you deserve the lightweight championship. No, but I get it. It's money. That's one of his boys. And I'll just say this, because before I get to a next GOAT, Hendo, you look like you're about to ask me something.
No, go ahead.
Oh, so you know who's not gonna ever be on my GOAT list? John Jones. Y'all annoy the hell out of me. Look, this is the real MMA, and I hate even using that word, but I got to in this situation because y'all seem to not understand. Y'all are the same people who don't think that Barry Bonds and Mark McGuire should be in the Hall of Fame because of steroids. So y'all go sit up here and tell me that John Jones would be considered one of the greatest fighters of all time, and this fool admittedly ducking drug tests because he out here sniffing cocaine and taking dick pills. This is one of y'all GOATs. So no, John Jones will never be on a legit greatest of all times list. Y'all can have that for social media. No, y'all can miss me with that. Now, this Saturday, an actual GOAT will be retiring once again. 2 weeks back to back. We done had some, you know what I'm saying, some retirements. Man. Anderson Silva will be having his last fight against Uriah Hall, so he should definitely win that because Uriah Hall been trashed for like damn near a decade now. But he said he's gonna have his last fight. 45 years old, man. Spider-Man is bowing out. He originally came to me in the Pride days, you know what I'm saying? I still remember seeing him hit that knee, man. I can't remember who it was against. I think it was, I just know it was for the middleweight championship, but I just know he shot in, got hit with a knee, and the rest is history after that. But like I said, man, he came to me early in the Pride days. This man still holds the record for the longest title reign in UFC history. Little under 2,500 days. I think it was from like 06 to 2013. So that right there should just let you know how great he was, man. Look, I know, you know, he took blemishes toward the end of his career with the Chris Weidman's knockout. But look, we ain't gonna mention what happened because of Hendo Jinx and everything. But like I said, man, Anderson Silva also one of the greatest MMA fighters of all time. So one time for him. Look, that front kick knockout, forever legendary. If nobody knows nothing about MMA, they know that Anderson Silva front kick. They probably can't name him, but they'll be like, the dude they got, they know that. So it sucks, But I found his comments interesting though at his press conference though. He said it does. He said the UFC doesn't feel like a family anymore ever since they sold it. Now think about that.
I believe him. I believe him though.
And also think about what I said when it happened, because I mean, like the thing was the Fertitta brothers, like they made the fighters feel like they was a part of it. You know what I'm saying? Like Dana White, cool, but Dana White's all about business. Ain't nothing wrong with that. But at the same time, though, you got to treat these fighters more than they just there to make you money. And that's one thing that the Fertitta brothers did do. And he said that feels like it's not like that no more. And I can tell, because think about it. As soon as they sold it, what happened? You lose your sponsorships. You can't get no, you know what I'm saying? You can't get no outside this. We got to have a cut of this, this, and this. So that takes the joy out of it. That's why a lot of people ended up leaving. That's why Demetrius Johnson is in one championship. You let one of your greatest champions leave. Literally just leave because you didn't know how to market him, bro. This man was the only UFC fighter to ever be sponsored by Xbox, bruh. And you took that away from him because Reebok wanted to give you these ugly uniforms. But yeah, man, one time for Khabib, one time for Roman Reigns and Sasha Banks and Randy Orton, one time for the greatest of Anderson Silva. And yeah, it's been a pretty interesting fight weekend these last couple of weeks.
Indeed, good stuff, Dom. Go ahead and take a breather because I know that was a lot.
Whew. Yeah.
Whew, I know, right? I know that was a lot. And yeah, I do want to piggyback about you with Dana White, one of the most overlording guys that we have ever seen or witnessed, even with this Reebok deal. Like this Reebok deal to me still gets me. We done had countless conversations about this because it just goes to show me that you're pretty much all by yourself in this. And just like when Silva said, you know, the UFC was not for the fighters anymore. And that right there, that Reebok deal that Dana White had took pretty much to me was like icing on the cake with that.
Yeah, like most definitely. So I mean, like I said, like that's why after that you start seeing people, you know, complain a little bit more. Like it's one of them situations that like people realize, you know, you got Bellator out here, you got one championship. Like it's not as many, you know, professional fighting leagues out there, but you still got a couple. You know, Scott Coker let you make whatever money you want to make. You know what I'm saying? Have all the sponsors you need. Anderson Silva was sponsored by Burger King, yo, for
Burger King,
damn near a decade.
Jimmy John's. Burger King, Jimmy John's, McDonald's, Metro PCS, Sprint. I mean, like, dude, they had like handfuls of like sponsors everywhere.
Patches was everywhere.
Like money was rolling in for Dana White, but majority of those sponsors was also going to the fighters too.
Yeah,
which that's another reason why the fighters were still making money without getting into the octagon. But Dana took that away, so oh well. That was all Dana. Hendo.
Yes, sir.
Video game news. I know you've got some news about PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series X, and we got some pre-order news for you. Take it away, sir.
Yeah, so we're gonna get to this pre-order news. Obviously, you were shit out of luck if you didn't pre-order it the first go around, and the second go around, and the third go around. But it looks like we may have a. I won't quote the person incorrect on this, but looks like we're going to be getting some pre-orders done again. Let me find the account real quick, but according to several different notable accounts that are very trusted because they got PlayStation 5s early from the companies and Xbox Series X, they both stated that stores like Target, Best Buy, Walmart, you know, your major retailers are all going to have more PS5s and Xbox Series X in stock on the launch date, and you'll be able to pre-order online now. Will you be able to pre-order online? The box will determine that. But that is good news for gamers. Also, it looks like everybody's getting accessories early. So you'll be seeing a lot of PS5 videos, controller videos coming out. I'm supposed to get mine tomorrow via Best Buy, so I may drop a video unboxing that PS5 controller. One little cool tidbit about the PS5 controller, though. You guys may have not known this, but the PS5 controller actually works with the PlayStation 3.
Nice.
I mean, that don't do you no good because
Don't
you
matter.
can't play the games on PS5.
Yeah, so that is a good sign.
Wait, so the
Definitely,
control work on the PS3, but the games don't work on the PS5.
PS3.
nah, yeah, that's crazy. It's backwards, but I mean, it is what it is. I can't wait to physically see it in person and get the feel of it because they said this is obviously different from the last iteration of the DualShock. So definitely excited for that. Also on the PlayStation side, like I said, the pre-orders are another big deal. People are getting this PS VR deal out the way. So for my VR people out there, if you want to indulge in that, go right ahead because I will not be a part of that. Xbox has some good news coming up. We've seen some unboxings of the Xbox Series X. We saw the box, so that looks really good. Outside of that, excuse me, gaming wise, I would say the biggest news we did see NBA 2K21 next gen. We'll leave the comments to everyone next week. We'll get a better idea of it, but like I said, we know what we're gonna get here. It'll look good graphically, but who cares about that? We want gameplay. We got 3 minutes of that, so we'll see.
I already noticed some things.
Just go ahead, take over.
All right, so one thing that I noticed the footwork looks a little bit better. So the thing that I noticed that annoyed me was the fact that you remember that part where Klay Thompson ran around that pick and then he shot that wide open three. Now,
Right.
if you go back and look and just focus on Drew Holiday fought through the pick, but the animation sucked him back in to where he got caught by the pick, and that's how Klay Thompson was open. That's the stuff that I'm looking at. That's why I said the game can look great, but I'm looking at stuff like that.
Yeah, and that's one issue. Animations, like you said, the shooting was a big issue on this current gen, but they seemingly seem to fix that. So,
That
like I
was
said,
rookie.
yeah, we'll see. Like I said, I'll wait and hold judgment till I get it in hand, so I won't rate it. Trailer look good though. I give them that. As always, it always looks good, but you know how it goes. Other big gaming news, unfortunately, this game has went gold already, and we still don't have an actual date. It's been pushed back again. And if you don't know, you've been on the rock for the last year. The most hyped game probably right now that's going to be coming out pretty soon. Well, supposed to Cyberpunk 2077. Well, Cyberpunk has recently dropped the news that due to some circumstances, unfortunately, it's being pushed back again. So now we're looking at December. Now, according to someone in the know, it has a lot to do with these current gen games or systems because this game is really built for next gen, but they're having issues with like making sure people who are on PS4 still, who will be on Xbox One and several other, Stadia different systems, are able to play this game fluidly. So that is a big concern. I made the joke that we probably won't see Cyberpunk 2077 till 2077, and we'll all be dead by then. So, yeah, unfortunately, it's just I don't know what to say, man. Like the hype of that game has really, really went down for a lot of people. People were canceling pre-orders. They did cancel that Xbox One, Cyberpunk Xbox that they were supposed to be doing. I think they canceled it now.
Yeah,
so
they better.
Dom obviously is a huge. He's been huge on the Cyberpunk side of things. What's your thoughts on this, man?
It is what it is. At this point, I'm just like, if y'all doing it to make the game better, then all right, cool.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Especially considering the current gen situation. And to be honest with you, if that is the actual reason why they are doing that, I respect them more for doing that than just to put the game out anyway, just for like a cash grab.
Facts.
Because people gonna buy the game regardless. I'm still gonna buy it no matter when it come out. So for the people who aren't lucky enough to get the next gen consoles but still want to play Cyberpunk 2077, I'm cool with them pushing it back until January 2021 because I know that's probably where we gonna end up going to anyway.
Right.
Yeah. So like I said, it is what it is with that. I mean, other than that, gaming news wise, this week we have Watch Dogs. So all my Watch Dogs folks, I beat 1 and 2. I made a goal that I wouldn't play this next one until next gen drops. But I have friends and family who have already put out the warning for me. Now I need to go ahead and start getting on it. So Dom, you have to give any teasers away to everybody, but your experience so far.
So I didn't really get that much, time into it. I will say this though, it's only 35 gigabytes, and it actually didn't take that long to install. So shout out to y'all for that. So I am already laughing though, because like the beginning of it kind of feels like a James Bond spoof. So I'm already loving the comedy of the game, but like the things that I've seen so far, I already like it. I mean, this feels like what the first one was originally supposed to be like. I'm not saying that it was going to be to this level, because obviously technology is different. I'm saying they're giving us with this game what the first one promised us that we was going to get.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that you can basically play with any and everybody is an interesting concept to me, and I want to see how it all turns out, because the fact that I can just play with an old lady and run around whooping ass, that's something I want to do.
Yeah.
Shout out to Kung Fu Hustle.
Yeah, man. One time for Ubisoft and Watch Dogs, looks like they brought out another banger for us. So
and they got another one coming next month with Assassin's Creed. So
yeah, and they got Assassin's Creed. So one time for Ubisoft, they're doing their thing out there. And lastly, Jim Ryan from PlayStation obviously announced that PlayStation will be looking to acquire a studio. Now we don't know what a studio this is. Obviously, right now the game is both companies are acquiring as many studios as possible. So there could be some sort of like, hey, we got to sit down and have this talk. As you know, Microsoft has done an amazing job by purchasing Bethesda, Fallout, Elder Scrolls, etc. Now PlayStation's got their will at the table. They're like, hey, we need a company too. And rumors has it could be a Konami situation, maybe. With that, there are several different companies I can think of. I don't know if it's going to be a big company. It may be a slightly big one, but I can't imagine they go like Rockstar or something. That would be insane. But Rockstar does have a great relationship with PlayStation, and it wouldn't shock me. But I can't imagine that would happen. If that is, that's a death blow to Microsoft for sure. If they were to purchase Rockstar, that'd probably definitely, because GTA 5 is still one of the biggest games, and obviously everybody who's playing Red Dead 2, rest in peace to Arthur Morgan, people are still playing those games. So yeah, just a little news from Jim Ryan. Other than that, gaming wise, man, like I said, go ahead.
Just one last thing to add to the delay list. Far Cry 6 got delayed too.
Oh yeah, Far Cry 6, man. I can't think of the guy's name. What's his name?
Giancarlo Esposito.
Yeah, shout out to my guy. If you don't know, played and Do the Right Thing back in the day. Bugging out as we know him.
He also will be in The Mandalorian, which season 2 does start tomorrow, by the way, or whenever you decide to watch this.
There you go. Once again, great actor. If you've seen the trailer, it was amazing. He was talking to his daughter. And the grenade was
Gus and Breaking Bad, fan.
Yeah. It looks like it's gonna be another great Far Cry, and unfortunately delayed as usual because none of these companies can get right now. I understand COVID has really done a lot to that, but other than that, like the funniest news obviously is Madden won't be available for next gen until December. So we'll all hate football until then, and yeah, man, that's it for gaming news, man.
Indeed, good stuff, y'all. Let's move to the NBA, where I do want to start this segment because this is a guy that me and Hendo have interacted with ever since we have started doing media coverage for the Dallas Mavericks. Very quiet guy, very respectable. But when we do, get with him, we always talk about, his suits and, him and DA are going to have to explain this to about these suits because they feel like they just kept these suits ever since. But all jokes aside, very quiet guy, very, very great person.
Nice guy.
Very nice guy. Every time we talk to him, the son of Paul Silas, Stephen Silas, has took the head coaching job of the Houston Rockets. As everybody has already known who Stephen Silas is, like I said, yes, he is the son of Paul Silas, but he has been an assistant coach in the NBA for 18 years. At every stop that he has went to, he has developed great relationships with a lot of players. Also, including, the great Steph Curry also as well. So he has had stops in this league. Matter of fact, Hendo, back in 2016, he was the head coach candidate of the Houston Rockets back in 2016 also as well. But besides him, they went along with Mike D'Antoni. So now that D'Antoni is gone, Silas finally has his opportunity to be a head coach into the Houston Rockets organization. Very happy for him, man. And also coming from Rick Carlisle's coaching umbrella, we're already seeing the results from Terry Stotts coming from Rick Carlisle. And Dwayne Casey also, Rick Carlisle coaching umbrella. We've seen his results that he had got from Carlisle. I'm very interested to see how Stephen Silas will take this approach. But to me, he's a player's guy. We've seen this for the 5-6 years that we have noticed Silas, sit behind the bench. Also towards the fact of he's going to a Houston Rockets team with 2 MVPs. Matter of fact, you can say 2 Hall of Fame players already as it is. So he's in a great position in the Western Conference. He has 2 players because we know that we see these new coaches that always go into a situation where they're in a rebuilding mode or they don't even have any players, good enough to make the playoffs. But you have 2 MVP players already on your team if they're still there. I'll just put it like that. If they're still there, for that team for Silas to work with. But I think just by having him there, it's great for him. I'm glad that he's finally getting this opportunity. I'm highly shocked about this, about this coming from him. But shout out to Stephen Silas, man. I'm very happy for him. I'm really looking forward to see how this is going to pan out with him when he coaches the Houston Rockets.
Yeah, man. One time for Stephen Silas, like you said, man, one of the nicest guys ever. Don't say much, but man, he all the players love him. Just my interactions with players that I know of, they all speak high regards for him. He's just amazing, man. You couldn't pick a better situation for him. But I just hope that Houston doesn't pull the we finna trade everybody and you gonna have to figure it out. Yeah, because rumors has it that this Joel Embiid situation in Philadelphia is becoming interesting, and Russell Westbrook situation. Houston's in a sort of a dead spin, if that makes sense. They're stuck with 2 guys that they probably won't be able to win with, but they're great players, and I don't know what they could do to improve. And then how many more years can you get Max James Harden, who is already one of the best players in the leagues? But Stephen Silas well deserving of his job. This is what we talk about when we talk about innovation and bringing in new coaches. We want Eric Bieniemy to get these jobs. These type of guys in the NFL. This is what I'm talking about. How the NBA has approached this. The Pacers hired the assistant coach for the Toronto Raptors. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so they're bringing in fresh blood. We don't want to see any retreads, and I applaud Houston for this. I'm not a Houston fan, as you know. I'm American. I hate Houston Rockets, but I am going to root for that man until he ain't no longer coaching. I hope he coaches there forever, obviously. But Stephen Silas, man, definitely from a mentorship type deal. He's worked with Luka Doncic, like you said, Stephen Curry. He's worked with some of the best players in the league. So he's been around the game for a long time, obviously. His dad, the great Paul Silas. So, yeah, man, I'm happy for Stephen Silas, but I'm going to miss them baggy suits because every time – it's so funny, man. One game, Carlisle got kicked out. This was years ago. Carlisle got kicked out of a game, technical – what was it? He got ejected for technical. And all of a sudden we looked over. We was like, who the assistant coach? And all of a sudden we just seen this big, baggy brown suit.
Square shouldered, blue pinstripe blazer, Stephen Silas taking over for the rest of the game.
And then what's so funny is the Mavs lost the game, and he's smiling. He was just in good spirits when he's up there in the press conference thing. And everybody in the whole press box is that got to be the biggest suit I've ever seen in my life. Dom, if you just saw this suit, MJ would be proud.
Oh man!
Him and Da when Dirk had his last game, Daryl Armstrong. Daryl Armstrong had a big white suit on. Did he have a big white suit on? And
his slacks was white.
Yeah, how you have white slacks?
His blazer was royal blue.
Yeah, and it was huge. You can see it across the floor. You could be up there at the top. You knew it was, but yeah, man, I'm gonna miss Stephen Silas, man. Just a great human being. I'm definitely gonna troll him because the hot topic that I had for the last year was the Vince Carter Zach LaVine thing. He always wanted to chime in on it. So hopefully, if COVID is clear, or not clear, just tame enough to where we can, go back to the stadium and talk to the coaches. That will be a funny thing during the coaches huddle. I will bring that up and put him on the spot because he's going to say what he said to me when he wasn't the head coach. So yeah,
Right.
one time for Steven Sauce, man. So yeah, man, definitely just great, man. If you ever met Steven Sauce, man, this is probably the greatest thing. It sucked. I was heartbroken when he got a job. Because it's just like you lose another great guy that you get close with. And he's gone. But like I said, for all the Houston fans out there, if you keep the right talent around this dude, you got something. Trust me.
Indeed. Let me stick to the Mavs with this last subject right here. The great Brad Thompson, Hendo, friend of the show also as well. We, does incredible things for the Dallas Morning News, and we have met them countless times and had great conversations with him. Has wrote an interesting piece in the Dallas Morning News saying that the Mavs are, quote unquote, willing. When the last time you heard that word, willing, to trade anyone not named Luka Doncic or Kristaps Porzingis in order to get into win now mode to get ready to build up this team. So now, fine, that sounds great, fine and dandy and all, but looking at the resume of the front office and every free agency that they have dealt with every single summer, they still haven't really been a good luck with that. And I still don't really believe that, to the point where like I have high hopes of this when it comes to me being a fan. Now, granted, I did love the fact that they did take the Clippers to 6 games. That was great. Seeing Luka Doncic become a MVP candidate at the age of 21. Seeing Kristaps play how he played before his injuries, showing when Luka was injured that he could still, hold it down. Mm-hmm. Vice versa with Luka when KP was out. Now, the problem is the role players and what can you do front office-wise to bring players here. Now, a lot of people still getting this notion of Giannis coming here, saying things like that. He's not coming here. I'm just saying that now. So don't mean to crush your hopes and dreams about that. I don't see Giannis just leaving Milwaukee like that. I think he will stay, probably sign the Supermax and just build around that, because the thing is about players like that, they are very loyal to their squads. And I don't see him just leaving like that, just to chase some ring, 2-time MVP, Defensive Player of the Year. Like, the team is not bad at all that's over there. May need some more additional players here and there, but not to the point where he's just going to just pack up and leave like that and just go to another team. Now, the problem is you got to find good reasons to bring these guys here. Nobody like to stay in Dallas like that. The only thing that I can just promise them, but was just like, you're not going to pay any taxes here, and you might get some great food. You might get some restaurants that probably give you free food for life when you probably come here. That's the only thing I can just give you. But you still have Rick Carlisle here. You still have Mark Cuban here, which that helps. Now, when you go to that free agent table, when you're having dinner with these guys, you can bring Kristaps, you can bring Luka Doncic to the mix. That's great. But also at the same time, it's like, if they can't show me they can make moves to please these free agents, to show them that they want to come here, then I'm not going to have any confidence in them to do anything. It sounds good and all when you read about it. Fine. I'm glad that you're saying this. This is stuff that I do want to hear. But if you're not going to show me any action from it, year after year, where we never seen the action free agent wise with main players coming here, and you always stuck with scraps, or you stuck with bringing retreads here every season, like, everybody from the championship team got to go. That's the first thing. You can't keep retreading this 2011 ring. It's done. It's been almost 10 years. Yeah. That has to go. Carlisle, still a great coach, but he's still stubborn at sometimes, and he still has these lineups. He can't keep one lineup to save his life. And he gets to these moments in the clutch time where you do question what he does as a coach. He has been on a hot seat a couple of seasons already, but I don't see him going anywhere. So it's still an adjustment for him having young guys around. He got to go completely young. But at the same time, you still have free agent guys who are still incredible, who are still great, that you can still add to this team. My thing is, what are you going to do with the other players that you have besides Luka and KP? Are they good enough assets to go bring you another all-star player in here? I don't think they are. So if you're not going to do anything at this draft, when you got 2 first-round picks, you better use those 2 first-round picks and get someone. That may be the only opportunity that you get to add anybody to this team, because I do not see this team, Hendo, doing this free agency. So they better do it with the draft for these first round picks.
Man, yeah, like I said, it is what it is. The Giannis rumors are going to be hot. To quote Brian Townsend, he just said a lot of people take it out of narrative when he says that. He's not saying Giannis, but he's saying any All-Star. There's going to be a team out there like Philadelphia that wants to get rid of a couple of contracts. So you're looking for a third guy to team up with Giannis and Luka. That would be the ideal. But this man seems young. Luckily, you do have Luka Doncic, who's young. The window for him is pretty open right now for the first 8 years, I'll say, because of contract rights and health. But other than that, yeah, man, just recruit, man. Do what you can. Just try. You got the approach has to be different now, but you do have a wild card now, Luka Doncic, who I think a lot of guys will enjoy playing with. Free agency is going to be a little different. We'll see. But this is going to be a rush deal because of this whole thing, which we'll talk next week about the start of the season being so damn early, which makes no sense. But yeah, the draft is around the corner, so we don't know. But the Mavs are projected to take 2 guys that are locals. Maybe R.J. Hampton, the prized, high school kid that went overseas to play last year, and TCU's own Desmond Bain. So we'll see what they do in the draft, which we'll talk that next week. But yeah, man, we'll see about this free agency news. It is what it is. Like, I've been heartbroken too many times to get too hyped about these Mavs free agency moves because we're supposed to have Dwight Howard 1 year. We were supposed to have Chris Paul, Deron Williams. We don't went down. We went all the way through there. I remember that 1 year we could have got everybody, and then we ended up with Harrison Barnes. Not saying that's a bad thing, but it is what it is. So yeah, man, we'll see.
Indeed, we will see. And the last thing, we did mention, Daryl Morey, as he will be the GM of the Philadelphia 76ers. And analytics aside, that will be a good move for them as a GM. I mean, Daryl Morey, he, of course, for 13 years, he didn't get that championship that he wanted out in Houston. But now he has another opportunity, in Philadelphia. You have Ben Simmons, you have Joel Embiid. My thing is, what are you going to do with both of them? Because I have a jersey for both of them. I'm not even going to sit here and lie to you about that. I have a jersey for both of them. And also, like Hendo said, with him already having ties in Houston, being there for 13 years, he can easily reach out, to try to get a package, try to get a deal for Harden or Westbrook. So I won't be surprised if we see any moves that's made between Houston and Philadelphia when it comes to a trade. But, you know what I'm saying? Highly surprised that Daryl Morey got a job that quick. You know what I'm saying? He's back in the GM train, but hey, it is what it is, man. So I wish him the best of luck as well.
Yeah, and we'll see. Daryl Morey's back in the building. He's going to try to finagle some moves. That's why I kept mentioning the Russell Westbrook Joel Embiid dynamic, because the stories are about Embiid and Simmons not getting along. So we'll see how that plays out eventually. I guess the process isn't done. So yeah, the process may have never gotten started for the first place. So we'll see, man. Like I said, time will tell. But yeah, it's gonna be very interesting to see what Daryl Morey can do. He seems to be a very smart GM. I know he's made some weird decisions, but he's fleeced a lot of teams out of trade. So give him credit where credit is due. And look, he never had a losing season when he was with Houston. Most guys would have
never did.
So yeah, I got to give him a little love there. So yeah, one time for Daryl Morey able to come back and get a job, but I would have loved, even though Chauncey got a assistant coach out with the Clippers, I would have loved to see a guy like that, get his first opportunity to be a GM. So we'll see. But Doc Rivers, he continues to get great jobs. Like Doc Rivers done went from like the Clippers, who was on the come up. He went there, didn't do nothing. Second round exits. He's going to Philadelphia, who may be the second or third best team in the East when healthy. He's had Boston. He didn't do anything in Orlando. So we'll see what Doc Rivers can do, man. I like Doc, but yeah, it's very interesting. He has a lot of great jobs.
And I think he's still going to keep on getting them. All right, good stuff, y'all. All right. Let's move on to the birthdays. And wow, the first birthday that pulled up Hendo. Even though he got knocked the hell out and hasn't been practicing all this week, turning 33 years old. The Red Rifle himself, Andy Dalton, has a birthday today.
Oh man, I love Andy Dalton. I know I think it was all of us that went to the TCU game.
Yeah.
And we saw the homie Andy Dalton. Nice guy. We love Andy Dalton, man. But oh man,
only one ginger can reign supreme.
Yeah, that'd have been the weird.
That is true.
Two gingers, and I'll be afraid to be the ginger with the storm I had this week. You got Fletcher Cox in there. Look, I know the Eagles keepers got their chose, but my God, our offensive line is terrible, and I would be scared to play this week. So get well, Andy Dalton. Yeah, man, unusual career, man, because he has a lot of good numbers, but my God, when it came time to show up, it was a weird thing for him. He's the unfortunate guy, but yeah, happy birthday, Andy Dalton.
All right, next on the birthday list, we got one of the Jackson 5. Him and his brother married the same wife and got kids. Turning 59 years old, Mr. Randy Jackson.
Next. Yeah.
Yeah.
Next.
All right. The next birthday on the list, turning 49 years old, we have Winona Ryder.
Okay. Greatness.
Turning 48 years old on a great show with her and Jessica Alba. Spinoff of Bad Boys, LA's Finest. We have Gabrielle Union with the birthday today.
Okay, one time for Gabrielle Union, one of the has a great career. I hope she gets more acting roles.
I mean, she plays the same person in every movie, but it is what it is.
Yeah, so she had to make that transition to TV show. So I'm pretty sure she had a choice.
Yeah.
And last on the birthday list, we used to watch this guy on PBS. Maybe the first person I probably even paid attention to when it comes to art and painting.
Wishbone?
The afro never went away. It never went away. It stayed around until he passed away in 1995. But rest in peace to the great Bob Ross with the birthday today.
Yeah, man, Bob Ross is obviously back in pop culture because of the Funko Pops. I do have a Bob Ross Funko Pop. But yeah, man, like the paintings are weird. Like now that I look at it, it's sort of soothing watching it. But as a kid, I used to think it was kind of boring to watch Bob Ross. But man, yeah, rest in peace to Bob Ross, man. He's probably, besides Gabe Kaplan, I'm sorry, that was on Welcome Back, Kotter. I've never seen white guys with froze. Those are probably the only two I've ever seen with straight up froze for real. And Will Ferrell, of course, but he don't count because he's being a jerk. But,
right. Timberlake. Yeah, Justin.
Yeah, he did.
Corey Matthews from Boy Meets World. Yeah. It was just a TWA though, you know what I'm saying?
It was TWA.
He did have TWA.
It was.
Yeah, it's been a few. Yeah, I'll take that back. But yeah, the TWA, but these boys had the Bone Thugs and Harmony froze. Like Bob Ross and like Will Ferrell and my man's, they had the front K-count. They actually had like real fun. I don't know if they permed their hair like that or what they did, but their hair didn't look like the normal, like straight. So yeah, man, rest in peace to Bob Ross, man. Definitely part of our childhood culture. One of the most intelligent human beings, and yeah, man, rest in peace to him.
Indeed, that is a wrap. Another episode is in the books. Before I go, just found out breaking news. My boy Trevor Lawrence, a.k.a. Sunshine, has tested positive for COVID, and he will not be playing against Boston College this weekend. But it doesn't matter. They still going to beat Boston College's ass anyway. So not really too much of a big deal, even though he was one of the guys that wanted to push college football to come back. And he tested positive for COVID. So, I mean, get well, Trevor. Hope, recovering from this, will be very, very healthy and very, very smooth for you. But we are out. Thank you, Dom. Thank you, Hendo. Please watch AMC. They are showing all classic scary movies for the rest of the month. I've been enjoying them. I'm going to keep watching them. I think the Amityville Horror comes on, I think, like later on tonight. I will be watching that along with Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I already watched all the Halloweens. I'm going to keep this going. Y'all enjoy y'all weekend. Have a great Halloween, and we are out.